I wonder if it's, well, screw it. We'll figure it out. Anyway, good morning. This is David Theus, and to my other side is Peggy Lynch. And this is our first recorded episode of Saturday Morning with Coach. And we're going to do this for future reference to build a library. And you'll be able to find this on a future noted YouTube channel, as well as in the Promote Clay members only group on Facebook. So we're excited to try something new, as always. And this call is basically designed Saturday morning at 9 o'clock for me as your business coach and fearless leader to listen, basically, not so much to have a format, if you will, or a tutorial to come to the table with, but to listen to your needs and concerns and use my 35 plus years of experience to at least give you my feedback. And if I don't know the answer, the cool thing is, depending on how many people are in the group, there could be someone in the group on a Saturday morning call that has the answer. So we could have somewhat of a peer advisement opportunity and sponge off of one another. So Peggy gets the benefit of having just me today and vice versa. And so I don't know how long this, we're scheduled for an hour. We may not take an hour, but we're going to just kind of free flow it. And Peggy, you wanted to start off sharing some of the things that happened in your week. So what's going on with you?
Sure. Well, first of all, as a partner to Promote Clay, we are, Promote St. John's. And I stopped in to see Renee Eipel's new office with Edward Jones in Palencia. And I got the tour, and she's going to partner with me over here in St. Johns County to build up the Promote St. John's Facebook page and so forth. So that was wonderful.
Yeah, she's got a great little space over there. I say little space, but she's got a great space. I jumped over there Monday. It was Martin Luther King Day, so I had a day off to go spend some daytime with people. Mm-hmm. And we're excited for her. We're excited for you too, because what a great partnership that you're going to have in St. Johns County. And you've got a nice space to meet some people, to grow in. You can start off with one or two people and probably get it to, I don't know, half a dozen people in that room over there. Yep. Or more. Mm-hmm. And then it's a great launching pad for both Renee and for you. So pretty cool stuff. So Renee Eipel and Peggy Lynch with 21K promotions, and Renee Eipel with Edward Jones. All right, let's not make this sound scripted, but anyway. All right. How are things? What else is going on? And this may be a brief, we may not even post it, but we'll see.
Okay, well, yeah, I'd like to add that this Facebook page is the most fabulous tool. Thank you, David. I get to walk in cold to a brand new business, new to me, and having that in my back pocket, the presentation is a lot softer, a lot smoother. They're much more welcoming if they don't think you're going to shove something down their throat and try to sell them something that they don't need. You were giving them something, a benefit. It's part of the package. So I'm building up more and more businesses slowly onto the page, or sending them to you, David. And actually, I have to say, I've already, since I've started this, I've picked up 4 brand new clients in St. Johns County as a result. So.
Okay, so you've stimulated a thought for me. I'm going to try and jot things down this morning, because you know how I am. Sometimes I forget them. So the premise that I think you just described is called value. Let me make this a note here real quick. So as you and I have discussed numerous times, there are plenty of people that do what you do, quite frankly, that you could probably open the old yellow pages and find half a dozen folks that are in your business, just like the insurance business or financial services or plumbers or whatever. And as a fellow business owner, especially someone who has a brick and mortar site, the door often swings open to more solicitors. I remember as a person who owned a brick and mortar business, I often said, man, if I had as many paying customers as I do solicitors, coming in and trying to sell me something, I'd be a rich person, because it's like, oh, let me guess. We used to place bets, what are the odds that this guy's trying to sell me something, or this gal's trying to sell me something. So you're already against the curve when you walk in the door, because the proprietor's already thinking the odds are you're not a customer. You're not going to bring money to the table. And so if that's what's happening to you before you even get in the door, you're in trouble. And so if the value proposition is huge, if you bring value to the conversation, besides just selling something, you're in a better place. And so I think what Peggy's talking about, what you're talking about, Peggy, we'll talk in first person, is value proposition. And in North Florida, Promote St. John's is a tiny morsel, but you're right, it does give you that license to have a moment, to have an extra 5 minutes with this person and say, look, I'm not trying to beat you up. I want to introduce myself. That's all. I want a chance to introduce myself and what I do. And oh, by the way, I get it. I'm in your camp. I'm going to try to help you prosper. We went to dinner last night, Sheila and I did, over at Bono's Barbecue in Fleming Island. And Sam, he's the general manager, comes up to me we sit at the counter, because especially on a cold night, you can see the fire and feel the fire at the pit. And we like talking to the pit boss. So Sam comes up to me and he says, hey, you're Dave Theus, aren't you? And I said, oh boy. I said, yeah. I said, yes, I am. And she goes, you got Promote Clay and Clay Eats. He goes, is Clay Eats different? I said, no, we're same thing. He goes, well, I want to be on that. Well, of course, whenever I got some sort of spatial issue going on, I couldn't figure out what he was talking about. She was like punching me, saying, he wants to be on the card, you dummy. And so, so I go, oh, okay. She goes, how do I do that? And I said, you're on it. And so he goes, do I owe you anything? Nope, you're on it. You're good. So anyway, he goes, can I buy you dinner? And I said, nope. He goes, what do you mean? I said, well, I mean, this is part of the deal. We try to support our local business. Now, for you, Peggy, we've had this discussion. You can't go into every business and buy a tchotchke or a trinket. You'll be out of business.
Right.
But the value you bring in lieu of you buying something every day is this Promote St. John's. So yeah, if any salespeople or anyone working can bring some form of value, some gift, if you will, to them, it goes a lot better, the conversation.
It does. And it's pretty amazing what the gatekeeper will, give up to you, when you start talking that language. So
Yeah, well, because you're talking their language.
yeah.
We're coaching today. That's that empathy. That's that emotional transfer I talk about all the time, that when you're listening and eye contact and you're really taking the time to pay attention to that person, that's that emotional transfer of empathy. I still don't know how it happens, but it does. And as soon as that happens, that guy or gal says, man, they get it. They understand my problem. I think I'm going to listen to them for a little bit. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's been great.
Okay, well, we did a great job promoting Promote St. John's.
All right.
And Promote Clay, for that matter. So I know you've had some downtime, we'll say, to kind of heal a couple of days. How do you think your first of the new year is always tough? You come out of a cycle. November, of course, is that month where you're supposed to be checking everything to see what you've been doing for the last 10 months, to see what's working, what's not. Cull the ones that are not working, maybe redeploy some assets of things that are, or pick up a new program and deploy that. And then December, it's the holidays. And so if you don't have it figured out by Thanksgiving, you're in trouble. And so you're either going to pick up a few orders over the end of the year, depending on the business you're in, you're going to pick up a lot more. But most of the time it's about you spending time and, holiday greetings and Christmas and all that good stuff for people and just being social. So January, you hit the switch and suddenly you've gone from no activity to you got to start over again, start climbing the hill. So now it's, by the way, January 22nd. We got three weeks into this thing. Have you got your climbing boots on and your ropes? Are you ready to address the hill? What's going on? Where do you feel like you are in this time?
Well, I'll tell you what, I think I need new pair of climbing boots because mine are wearing out. I truly expected the first, January to be typical, of every past year, where you're not writing a lot of business in the first few weeks. Well, I'm here to tell you, I'm amazed at what's going on. It seems to be coming from every direction. I have old clients that have tracked me down, 2 of them last week, 2 weeks ago. I have existing clients, I've got new clients, and I'm excited about it, and amazed. So and I'm just now getting ready to put together my action plan for the year for 2022. So that's where I'm at.
So have you been planting genetically modified seeds with your Johnny Appleseed plant?
I've been a busy gardener, busy planter. And
How many metaphors can we slip into this conversation?
Bob, you're on a roll. Keep going.
Johnny
But
Appleseed.
yeah, and I'll tell you what, sometimes you don't realize, you just you make a plan, you get busy, and then it all starts coming to fruition, and you're wondering, well, what did I do to cause all this? And then you look back and say, well, yeah, speaking of planting seeds, and you have maybe 4 or 5 different gardens, and they start sprouting up from different gardens.
I'll tell you how it happens, and you deserve tremendous amount of credit for it because you put the basket on your back and went out and sowed seeds. But it's about systematic approach. And we talked about, you and I had some one-on-one coaching at the last quarter or so of last year. And I'm not going to make a societal comment about the work ethic because you and I don't demonstrate the lack thereof. You have no problem going to work, and you've been doing this long enough to know that's how you do it. But the key is business is business is business. It's not rocket science per se. It's about a systematic approach, and a systematic approach is just what it sounds like. You have to have a system, and you have to apply that system on a daily basis. And kudos to you, Peggy. I mean, and I know we could go back in the file, if you were, and find those days where you were just slugging through it and like, gosh, is this ever going to get any better? And you're not on, the mountaintop by any means, to use a metaphor, but you're seeing results. And we as salespeople and owners of our companies, typically we're in this thing alone, or very few people around us, and not many people have the same amount of passion that each of us do individually about it, because it's ours. It's our blood, sweat, and tears. And so you need those moments of success, like you're starting to feel, to encourage you, to get you up every morning, go to bed, or get up and go to work, excuse me. But the systematic approach is really, it's about getting up and doing the same thing over and over again. The good news for us, and I've told you this story about the lady that put the bobbins on the fabric line up in North Carolina when I went up there to see the fabric company we used to represent. And every morning she started at 7 o'clock, and there must have been 50 bobbins that they were making yarn out of. And it's at 5 o'clock, she clocked out, and that's what she did all day long. And I'm like, how do you not commit Harry Carey every day? Well, her motivation was she didn't have to worry about work when she went home. She just got it done, and then she went out and did her thing. Okay, we're just different people. And our motivation is we do the same thing. We do the same bobbins, but we just get to speak to different people. Our bobbins aren't at one factory sitting in front of us. We get up in the morning and go talk to bobbins down the street, and go talk to bobbins down on the next street. So that's where I get my juice from, if you will, is I get to talk to different personalities and see different people. And I think you're in that same boat. You like people in that capacity. So yeah, it's about doing the same thing over and over and over again. You've done a great job this last quarter. A lot of it motivated by fear and must, because you moved back from Chicago and it's like, I got to pay the mortgage, or I got to pay the rent, whatever it is, and
Right.
so that sometimes can be a great motivator.
Yeah.
Good job. You deserve a lot of credit. So hopefully it keeps up.
Thank you.
And the way it does keep up is you got to, the life cycle of a salesperson, it's like that roller coaster. You're clicking up the hill and you're just struggling to get up the hill, and then you hit the peak, and it's just a downhill roller coaster. All of our hands are up in there. Whee, we're having fun making money. And then all of a sudden you hit the bottom. It's like, uh-oh. So we got to try to figure out a way to smooth out those ups and downs. And the way to do that is that systematic approach. Just keep grinding. So anyway.
Hey, thanks, David.
All right. There you go. Two people staring at each other. What next?
Is that volume not working?
What's that?
Is the volume off?
Hello, is this on? Well, this has been good, Peggy. I'm not cutting us off. I'm just saying I could see how this would be even better with 4 more people, but that's okay. Go ahead. You got anything else you want to talk about?
No, I just I'm busy. I've got a ton of things to do today. So
Well, if you're thinking that you're tapped out, so to speak, let me kind of wrap up with you just said. I'm busy. This year, over the Christmas break, and I don't know if I've shared this with you or not, but I got the COVID over the Christmas break.
Yes.
The day after Christmas, and then for 10 days later. I'm actually kind of thankful I got it, because now I can be a member of the club, say I got it, and then I can also have the antibodies. But anyway, that's another recorded episode. But the point is, over the break, I really took an analysis of what was going on in my personal life and personal activity, in some of those things that ventures I've been trying to get myself into and fill up my day with. And what I realized was there's just some things that were not productive, and not so much just to make a buck, but they were not productive use of my time. And I know you're a single gal, but you've got a lot of friends, and you've got a daughter and son-in-law and grandchildren not too far away that you love to visit. I think it's so important that buzzword work-life balance. It's critical that we keep that in mind. I always thought it was funny how the concept of work-life balance immediately takes you to this, you've got to keep your life in perspective and do the right things, but they somehow put work before life in that phrase. And alphabetically, it doesn't make sense either. It should be life work business balance.
Absolutely.
But we Americans, when I lived in London, they used to say, you Americans live to work, and we in the United Kingdom work to live. And so I was like, what are you talking about? And so they're always going on holiday, and so their work was a means to an end to pay for their fortnight over at the, in Europe or whatever they were going. And our means to an end was to work, constantly. Now, before I get railroaded as being some sort of a socialist or communist, I don't have a problem with working. And I think it's critical to our person. I think it's a gift from God for us to work. There's a mission behind that as well. And I think it's very American, and we should be working. There's a lot of things that are falling apart because of that. But we got to keep a balance. And so, that systematic approach we talked about, and that grind and the roller coaster we talked about, part of your mix has got to be your family. Otherwise, you're just going to be, you've seen that meme that says there's not a guy at 90 says on his deathbed says, I wish I spent more time in the office.
Right.
So somewhere in there is a balance. There's a whole, you know what I'm talking about. So keep that in mind. And I weighed that out this break that I had and said, okay, I'm going to pull back on a couple of these things, spend more time with my family. Yesterday I did something crazy, and I'll close with this. Our second to the youngest granddaughter, I think she's going to be 5 or 6. Her birthday is the 25th of January. And Sheila, being a great grandmother that she is, not a great grandmother, but a super grandmother,
Wonderful grandmother.
a wonderful grandmother. She had already purchased her gift, And she had, she told me, can you get it to UPS and have it shipped out? They live 45 minutes away. And I said, yeah, sure, I'll take it over there. So it's a box and it's wrapped. It has to go in another box to get shipped. Well, I take it over to the UPS store. It's $9 for the box and $25, $26, whatever it is, to ship it out there. So I'm like, $35 to get it there tomorrow. It's 45 minutes. I'm going to drive it out there. And so old Dave, I'm too busy, would have said, that's $35. My hourly rate is whatever. And gas, I'm not doing it. I'm shipping it. And so I looked at the guy at the counter and said, no, I'm driving it out there. So fortunately I was on that side of town. I had to go see Renee Thorpe at DI Renee Creations to pick up some stuff she's doing for us.
Yeah.
And so I called my daughter and said, look, you guys gonna be home about 4:30? Yeah, sure. So I got to go see my daughter, my oldest. I got to see 4 of the 5 grandchildren and have a moment. I got to punch their dog. That dog I had to take care of. He was driving me crazy. But anyway, I got to see them for, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. My daughter's like, well, she was she was doing what I would do. She was weighing why didn't you ship it with, I'm glad you're here kind of thing. So it worked out, and it was just, those are the things we got to start calculating better and make sure they're a part of our lives. So it was a win-win for everybody. Sheila was happy that I got it shipped and delivered. I took a picture of me delivering the package to the child. The child was ecstatic that she got a, gift that Papa brought out. It was a win-win across the board. And I enjoyed it. So anyway, all right, let's close there. This is our first episode. I'm going to go back and watch it just to make sure we're all good.
Okay.
And I'll figure out how to post it. And once it's up, we'll wrap it up. It'll be on the Promote Clay private members group. Any closing thoughts to wrap up with, Peggy? And I've hogged the mic.
No. Thank you. I'm glad we finally got together again. It's been a few weeks.
It's our Saturday. You started it all.
So
right.
No, this was great. Thanks, David.
All right. Well, have a blessed week, and we'll see you again soon sometime.
You got it.
All right. Take care. See you. Bye.
Bye-bye.